White feminism focuses on the equality between men and women. And while that's great, it doesn't really intersect gender and race to create equality for people, for everyone, you know.
The solution of white feminism is the refusal to acknowledge the fact that different women receive different opportunities and there's different circumstances that come into play with that.
And if we're talking about true feminism, if we're talking about actual feminism, there are men who are feminists, first of all. And also, it is simply about the belief that all people deserve the same rights politically, economically, and socially. Period.
Feminism should work past helping just white women. It should be inclusive of people of color, the disabled, LGBTQ, really anybody who faces or may face oppression under the norm of being a white, straight, middle-class man in America.
For us, feminism to be inclusive and diverse because women are diverse. You know, there's not one type of woman.
A really interesting thing that a professor here, Dr. Trevor Lindsay, who's a professor at The Ohio State University in the Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies, in a workshop that she did with the organization that I'm a part of called Women's Student Initiatives on my campus, she made a very good point. She asked the question, why when we say the wage gap, why do we say women make 78 cents to men's $1?
So in terms of pay gap, in some ways I do have a privilege because statistically I would make more than, for example, a Hispanic woman. But at the same time, I would end up making statistically less than a white woman.
And I mean, outside of Black and Hispanic women, usually the spectrum gets lower.
White feminism, you know, at one point might have been great because it focused on women getting equality. It doesn't really do much for the people who are also marginalized in different aspects based on their race and whether they're trans or even if they aren't necessarily heterosexual.
The 60s and 70s in the women's movement, many women of other colors than white, you know, their particular experiences as women of color in America were kind of, you know, pushed to the side because white women who were in charge of the women's movement were saying, no, what we're fighting for gender equality. So when you're talking about race and when you're talking about, you know, nationality and any other kinds of pieces of your identity, put that over to the side. What we're talking about is gender right now.
And that kind of plays a role in white feminism because usually the media will prefer to hear what a white woman has to say over what, for example, a Black woman has to say.
You know, feminism isn't a platform for you to get on just to help people who are like you. I don't want to just see queer Asian women to succeed. You know, I want everybody to succeed.
Like, mainstream feminism could be more diverse if more mainstream celebrities and things like that pay attention to intersectionality. And I mean, I don't get it because I'm not a white woman, but I understand how in certain ways it's easy as a privileged person in different areas to look over or to like overlook and not even notice that you excluded, you know, a group of people.
And you know, I don't think that it's too idealistic to identify as an intersectional feminist.
I think our mainstream feminism could become a lot more intersectional if we have this dialogue and we have this conversation and we keep pushing for more intersectionality in our feminism.
Intersectional feminism does all this. Intersectional feminism intersects gender and race to make sure there's equality for everyone.
If you are fighting for Black women and Latina women and trans women and queer women and lesbian women and Muslim women, etc., then we're talking about intersectionality because we hold multiple identities. And we're also talking about shaking feminism of all of that history of microaggressions and of invalidating pieces of someone's self to serve a larger goal. Because whose larger goal are you talking about?